go. So we're going live.
Thank you.
Let me see, where are we at? I gotta get on YouTube, see if anybody comes on my channel.
Lady of Wurttemberg right here. How you start up that thing at the rubber lane.
We'll see if anybody shows up.
Well, Anthony, say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. See if anybody comes up. Hi, Chris. How are you today? This is sort of unannounced. I've got friends visiting me, and they held a gun to my head and asked me to go live today. My friends Steve and Matt are here. Well, hi, Ewan. Here, let me shut down the noise just for a second. Hey, everybody. Unscheduled. I checked first. Nobody that I'm subscribed to was streaming right now, so I came on. YouTube deleted my stream yesterday because apparently I was playing the Beatles' Sexy Sadie at the start, and the people who own the Beatles right immediately shut you down. So, F them, but I thought, what the heck. I wasn't planning on going live, but my friend, this is Matt. Matt, you're on camera. You can say hi. My friend Steve is over there. You can't see him. I don't think I can get him in a camera view. Let me see if the big view is there. Nope, he's conveniently out of every camera range. Well, let me see if up the ramp. Let's see. You might see his blue shirt slightly edging around the corner. Well, they're both in blue shirts. All right, Steve's going to come around here. There's my friend Steve. That's Steve.
Hi, everybody.
And that's Matt. Steve and Matt come down every now and then to hang out and run trains. Steve is a huge Miraklin fan. He runs Miraklin track and trains like I do. And Steve brought down a couple of trains that we're going to be showing you. So if you guys are feeling cool. Hey, Kieran, how are you? Ewan, I caught you. I think that's it. At least people talk. But anyhow, Steve, Matt's my tech guy. If there's technical problems, Matt tries to solve them. And Matt just likes to film too. So he's filming me, filming you, filming him. The fourth wall explosion. But anyhow, Steve brought down a couple of trains that we're going to highlight to you when it comes around. I'll put it on the 11-lane track. It's a steamer. Kieran, you'll be happy. It's a steamer. It's an old German steamer. Double win. So Steve and Matt came down, and Steve wants to be famous. So when you see this train, you have to keep saying, nice train, Steve. You'll love the train. I think you'll all love the train. But you can't say, nice job, Anthony. You have to say, nice job, Steve. He wants to see how many people will love his train. And then we got a silly little car, but the camera fell off on it here. Killed a tree, too, man. So I don't think that dude will run without this on it. We got to get a weight on that little guy. But the good train. He also brought this really old, cool vehicle that we've been trying to get working, but it's really light, so it doesn't ride the rails. So anyhow, let me say, who else came in? Hey, Tristan. Nice to see you. I noticed that you had a live stream. I was working on the crib, and then my friends came down, and they just nagged me and said, hey, why don't you go live? And I said, all right, I'll go live since nobody else is on. Lee just ended his stream, so I thought I'd sneak in here and go live. So I wasn't lying. If I missed your stream, it's because I really was working on stuff, but also have visitors, so I felt it was rude, but now they've nagged me to go on. So why don't I show you their steamer, this classic German steamer. The name of the train is Lady of Wurttemberg. We will get everything moving again and coming around. And again, it's really weird to be filming me, filming you, filming Matt, filming me, filming you. I need a drink.
I need some water.
Well, I have bubbly German water, which I'm using. I don't think you like that. Do you drink any pop at all?
I take one. I take a Coke.
We've got Coke Zero. Is that okay?
That'd be alright.
All right. Coke Zero it is. Are you on the control or?
No, I'm trying to get this thing to go. Turn this thing up. Turn the Coke up. Make it on time. Go lighter.
Well, I really had no intention of going on. I was going to hang out with these guys for a bit, then get back to work on my grandson's crib. But Steve wanted me to put his trains on. I've been filming his trains to do an actual episode, long delayed next episode of Model Train Outsider. But okay, he's coming around. Let me get this on the 11-lane view. This train ran from the early 1900s until it was decommissioned in 1954. It's a German class 18.1. He's coming just into your view now. But he's a steamer. He's the name, I keep saying he. Her name is Lady of Wurttemberg. Hang on, we just had a... Steve, you knocked something over.
Oh, I don't know. I barely touched the table.
Did you just have this pushing? Steve, Matt, did you have your camera pushing?
Yeah, it's you can take it off.
No. Oh, okay.
It's not filming.
Oh, it's not filming? All right, we'll
No,
just
I
go
ain't
ahead and
filming
take it
it.
off.
Yeah, just go ahead and take it off.
We had a platform being dragged for a while.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so anyhow, here it is. Sorry, slight delay.
It had been Steve. You gotta move that bottle.
But,
Gotta move that bottle.
yeah, you're probably not in the best place, Steve.
No, he's not.
But, yeah, that train ran from the early 1900s until it was taken out of service in 1954. Hello, Terry Elrond. Welcome back. Well, if you're ever near Toledo, Ohio, just give me a warning and we can always fit somebody in. But I've known Steve and Matt here since I got into model trains. I actually met them before I knew them, which of course you always meet somebody before you know them. But very soon after I got into model trains, I went up to the closest model train shop. And I think at the time I owned 2 trains, and I was into the hobby for about 5 months. This is early 2016. And the local hobby shop at the time, he has since closed, was a guy named Dave, and he was about an hour north of me. And I went into Dave to look for some track and some other things, and Matt and Steve were there. And very helpful, giving me lots of information, probably more than I needed at the time. And then ran into them again the next time I ran up to Dave. So apparently they lived at Dave's model train shop. But Dave did European trains. Dave did American and European trains. So if you were into European trains like Steve and me, and Matt's just into trains, period, American, European, whatever. But Matt, you do N gauge mostly, right? Yeah. He's nodding his head. He's live, but we got to teach them etiquette.
I do both.
He does N and HO, but mostly N. So if you're an N scale person, he loves that. From what I understand, Kieran, my little knowledge of this locomotive is that it was a passenger service. It was the equivalent of high speed. It was a high-speed passenger service. So I'll try to get a couple of close-ups, like next time it's going. I'm going to kick up the speed a bit, since it did say he was at a... We've had the speed slow because Matt's been doing cab view filming. Unfortunately, I tried to get the Wi-Fi from the camera to work with my OBS, so you guys could have seen that. And there's a password we have to have, which is at Matt's house, not here, so we couldn't do it. So, thanks, Chris. No, neither Matt or Steve sing. You don't sing, right? No, they've already refused. Hey, Somerset Andy and Mystic Southern Railway, how are you? Oh my God, guys, we've got a train party here. Look at this, yeah, we just went live. Steve demanded we go live. So now we got Joyce here too, although she's probably just checking the laundry. Well, we got a train club party. Wait, where is he? Oh, rats, I missed him, darn it. Village View, I was going to catch him on the station and up the ramp, but I got talking instead. All right, we'll catch him around. Hey, Stephen, good to have you here. Stephen Price, since we've got Steve. Actually, his name's Michael, but I've always known him as Steve. He's Michael Stephen, right? Not Stephen. He's Michael Stephen, but I've always known him as Steve. Some people call him Mike. Some people call him Steve. Just don't call him late for dinner.
That's right.
So let me catch him here again, coming around. This is the closest view, but maybe not the best view. I'll try to remember next time up the ramp, because you'll get a pretty good view of him up the ramp. But anyhow, although if I tilt that camera down just a bit, he might show up better. But so yeah, Steve always brings down a couple of trains when he comes down to visit, and runs them on my track, and yells at me about cleaning my track. But we come down, talk trains and whatever else, and so it's meditative. Yeah, it's just fun. And this is a cool train, and it's similar to what I would be looking at getting a steamer. Because, see, Steve watches all my YouTube live streams, but he doesn't come on to YouTube. He refuses to join YouTube. Although, actually, my friend is Matt Moore. Is your YouTube Matt Moore or Matthew?
Matthew Moore, Mark Lewin.
At YouTube?
Yes.
Oh, you changed it?
No, it's Matthew Moore, Mark Lewin.
Well, I always knew you were on me. I have you as just Matt Moore.
That's fine. If you type in on Google, Matthew Moore, Mark Lewin, I'll be the first one up there.
Anyhow, he's got video of Steve's layout in Steve's house. And Steve's layout is like a monster in terms of how much track he runs. So I'll type the name in here, and you guys can check out my friend Matt Moore's webpage. I forget if he's Matthew or Matt Moore on his webpage. I could look it up real fast, but I'm lazy. Actually, what I should do is just open up another page here, get a link. There you go. I just missed him. So nobody's here now. All right, we'll just do Village View. Warn me when he gets about halfway up here, when he gets past me, because I'm going to look this up real fast. My subscriptions. Where are they? Oh! Did Tim Wells go live? I think Tim Wells went live.
Alright, you're up there.
All right, here we go. Now you can see him coming up the ramp.
Can you put that on? I'm not sure.
Oh, he's dead there, isn't he?
See if it works good.
FMR Station House is live. Why is that not coming up on my main feed? I'm going to feel really bad now.
Could I say something to the guys? I've been in Markland since right out of high school at the age of, actually at the year.
Why don't you come on camera and reach the mic, otherwise they won't hear you. This is Steve, everybody.
Hello, everybody. I just want to talk base with you. Markland right out of high school, the year of 1968. I went from Lionel to Markland 3-rail, and ever since when I was in trains, I really enjoyed the steam locomotive. So I've got steam locomotives since Markland started. Well, they started before I was born, but they've been in for 150 years. But I gradually worked myself up, so I'm mostly into steam locomotives. I have the BR-01, the BR-05, cab forward, the big boy, locomotive by Union Pacific, the Challenger by Markland of the big boy series. I do have quite a few ICE trains, and that's about it. But I really enjoy trains since I was I hope you guys are enjoying the same thing as a hobby as we do. But we have to get small kids into the hobby because right now it's falling apart.
Did we freeze up? Oh, no, we're good. Okay. We froze up temporarily, but we're good. Yeah, it's... Yeah, I'll get that. Whoops. How about instead of sticking my butt on the camera? We'll do... Nope, not up the ramp. Let's do the high camera. All right, let's get this little guy. Okay. What's up? Yeah. Hey guys, I just saw that Tim Wells, Family Model Railway went live. I really did not want to mess with him. Uh-oh. Oh, I know why.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get in charge of something else. He's got what, 4 batteries up there already? I will. Okay.
All right, let's try this again. Yeah, every now and then that main camera goes. I'm looking right now and noticing that we're freezing up here and there. So this camera, for some reason, whenever this is on, it acts up at times. Yeah, I don't want Tim to think I was cutting in on him. I did not know he was going live. I did not see any notification or anything that he was going live. I checked YouTube. I checked YouTube to make sure nobody else was live at the time. I mean, I'm missing my Liverpool game, but I was going to miss everything anyhow because when people are here, I don't go on the internet. But since Steve held a gun to my head and said go live,
Yeah, we all know that you really want to go live too.
no, I don't mind going live when I'm thinking of going live. You just wanted your train on display.
That's it. Feels left out.
That's just it. Steve wanted his camera on. Actually, Somerset Andy, I do need a bigger layout. I really do need a much bigger layout. I don't have room for my platforms the way I want them. I need my trains to have longer straight runs. I need a much bigger layout. Or I should have done N gauge, but that's not happening. Hey Tim, how are you? Again, I really did not want to cut into Tim. I did not know Tim was going live, and he went on live after I started here. And of course mine wasn't scheduled either, and he traditionally did a Saturday night show at 3:30, but I did not know he was doing a new show. Did anybody know if Tim Wells announced he was doing a live show today? Because I'm going to feel like a complete and utter bastard if that's the case. If I have a bigger layout, can you have this one? Yes, Chris. You just pay the shipping and handling to Scotland and I'll mail it to you. Yeah, Z-scale, Ray. I could imagine what you could do with Z-scale on this table. It would be awesome. I could build all of Germany. I just don't think I could build the buildings.
Yeah, it would be way too small.
I'd have to buy pre-made and not be able to make some of the custom buildings I've made.
Could you ask one of the guys on your crew if they ever heard of the Michelin bus on the rail?
Yeah, they used to make them.
Well, most of these guys, I've heard of bus on rails. Okay, my friend Steve wants to ask a question to some of you. So he said it on Double O'Neill stream, but he didn't post anything on YouTube that I saw. And since I wasn't on, I mean, everybody's going to watch him anyhow. I just don't want him to think I was trying to horn in on or cutting him off. I don't want to annoy him. I'm so glad he's back making videos. And on a normal day, I'd be shutting off and watching his stream. Or I'd be watching football. Anyhow, let me put this up here. I'm going to go to this camera that seems to be acting up today. We were trying to run this guy, but he's a little lightweight. This is a Michelin bus that runs on rails, and my friend Steve wants to know if anybody else out there has ever heard of like a Michelin, I mean this is German obviously, but a Michelin or anybody, a bus running on rails, because apparently this ran in Bremen, Germany, or Bremerhaven I should say, Bremerhaven, Germany. So he was trying to run this on trails, but it's a little light. Try it again. All right, we'll try it in a minute. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. Let's go that view.
I'm just curious, how many people have been there?
Hi, Lee. Again, I just want to say to all you that had live streams earlier, we were not planning on going live. My friend Steve insisted we go live. And when I went live, nobody else was on. I checked and I saw that Lee had a stream. And I wasn't planning on being on the internet today at all because my friends were coming down and we were going to run trains. But they wanted to be part of a live stream, so we're doing a live stream. But I'll probably end it relatively short. But if anybody's over on Tim, I'm just really, really sorry. I did not know he was going on and did not want to cut into a show. We're up to 18, which is not bad. Yeah, let's do a quick temporary stop so we don't short anything out while I do this. Because we certainly don't want to mess with the world. Okay. We just did temporary stop because we're going to try to get that bus running again. Well, there he goes. That's not bad. He handled that well. We'll show you what we're running. Yeah, you'll see him best here. Yeah, you can see it in the background right there. Yep, almost. Little whack on the ass. Come on, go, 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 go. Don't, go, go. Yeah, we got one pass out of him and now he's done. Come on, go. He ran out of gas. Now I'll probably stop at the other station because those are the two places he's been stopping. Let me get to the controller here. I think it's cool. I really think it's cool looking. Yeah? Okay. The Persuader.
Anthony, look at the comments.
Look at the comments. Matt Moore says hello. How about that? He's sitting behind me and typing in front of me. Yeah, this guy is a real old Märklin vehicle. I don't know how old he is actually, but he does not. He's meant to run on their K track, and yeah, he's lightweight. That's the issue. He's lightweight, so his contact isn't strong. Where's my other one? There it is. I've got two of these bad boys. So we've been trying to clean the track and clean him up just to see if we could get him running on here. Because he runs on Steve's layout, but not mine. And those tracks probably need a good cleaning. God, when would those run in Germany? Okay. Yes, well, I'm running a live stream. I'll just read. At the start of the 1930s, the French tire company Michelin developed a lightweight rail bus. Lightweight is correct.
It's so light it fits.
There he goes. The Michelin offered space for 24 passengers and reached a speed of 63 miles an hour. So it started in the 1930s. It doesn't say when it ended. I just know when I've been to Bremer and Bremerhaven, you don't see them anymore. So it ended before 2004.
They put it in a museum.
Run. Just need a weight on it. A really good weight.
A weight underneath it.
Or, yeah, weight on in the butt.
Yeah, in the bottom.
Yeah, just get some of those little mini lead things.
Yeah.
It really is such a lightweight thing. But I would say the toy itself is 50 years old. Well, maybe not that old. Yeah, he stopped again.
Let me tell you on the back of the, I'll tell you what one of it's doing.
All right.
There you go, Andy. This is what we...
Well, hi, Digger. How are you? Oh, let's get an up the ramp view again. Here he comes. We just went live because my friend Steve wanted people to see his Miracle train he brought over. That's the only reason we're live. Steve wanted me to go live and show off. So here it comes. It's a class, German class, Wurttemberger C-Class, as it was called, class 18-1. It ran from the early 1900s to 1954 is when it went out of service. So he just wanted people to see his train and asked me to go live. We're trying to convince him to set up his own YouTube channel, but he won't do it.
I don't have cameras, either. This thing,
Buy one less train, Steve, and buy one more camera.
hey, this Michelin bus was made by Martin in 291. February of 1991 was made.
Okay, so it's a 30-year-old toy. 30 years, not 50, 30 years. The little rail bus there. Boy, it just feels like it's an older toy than that. Just feels like something you'd have in the 60s.
Yeah, things going good the next time.
So if I didn't say hi to anybody, hi to everybody. I said, I don't know that we'll stay on too much longer.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, see, that's what... Well, I can move that camera down a
Oh,
bit.
you're good. It's good.
I can get a slightly better view of cars if I just push it down a bit.
Yeah.
There. That'll look good. Yeah, because I get my immediate feedback on that right there. So, yeah, we're just hanging here. That's what I just noticed. That stupid car derailed again, and now it's on the front. That little wagon. Like I said, we should have just left it off. Speaking of lightweight.
You can do
Now I'll stop him when he gets over here and just take that car off. That's an old, that's probably 1970s, 1980s Miracle bit. But yeah, if you came to the live feed yesterday, YouTube took it down. I was playing the song Sexy Sadie at the start of my video by the Beatles, and the people who own the Beatles music threw a temper tantrum and demanded the video be taken down. Because, yeah, like I'm using the Beatles to make money on my channel here. Oi, oi, no.
So you use my phone for this remote control thing. This camera. The video camera. Yeah, you know?
Haters. Always a train in the way when you're in a hurry.
Uh,
Ba-dum-bum. Yeah, we'll just take him off. I don't know why he's derailing today. Yesterday he ran perfectly. So you're seeing a rarity, people. I'm running a steamer and a freight train at the same time, separately. That doesn't happen too often in this world. Oh, he just left the station. Get him a little bit in village view. No, it's not Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney does not own the rights to the Beatles stuff yet. He's been trying to get it, and he got a lot of it, a lot of their early stuff, but a company called UMG, and UMG, the company, I think they also own a lot of the Who stuff, and if you use their stuff on videos, they come down hard on you. It's a company called UMG, United Music Group, or something like that. And yeah, they own the Beatles catalog right now, and they're just nasty about it. What happened?
I never put the platform back over there.
Oh, don't worry about it. They're very tedious. If you breathe on them, they fall off. Ah, here we get him coming through the station. Well, that's the freight train. And here he comes. That's a nice view. Both guys coming through the station. Sadly, the passengers are angry because nobody stopped to pick them up. We'll go to the long run again. Yeah, Universal Music Group. Yeah, UMG. And yeah, they're real jerks. Back in the 80s and 90s, if you're old enough, they used to, they and another company called BMG used to do CD sales where buy 11 CDs, get one free, but you had to subscribe to their service where they would send you, and you'd have to pay for like 5 CDs a month for a year, and they would send you crap CDs. You didn't even get a choice of what CDs. So you would buy 11, you'd get a 12th for free, and then for 1 year you had to buy 5 a month, which they sent you. And they made a fortune on it, scamming people. And then they bought the rights to the Beatles and a few other groups when Sony went belly up, because Sony got the Beatle rights from Michael Jackson, and Paul tried to buy them from Sony. Sony bought them from Michael Jackson, but then Sony sold them a couple of years ago when Sony was having financial problems. Sony sold off most of their I think they sold off all of Sony Pictures, or maybe not. Sony Pictures is one of the only things they held on to. But outside of Sony Video and that, Sony was, their movie licensing and everything was going bankrupt. And so they sold the beat to pay off some of their debts. They sold the Beatle rights, and before Paul McCartney could get it together, UMG bought it. Paul got some of the rights, but not all of them. I'm a huge Beatle geek. Yeah, iTunes is another scam, but I guess if you use Apple, which is a scam too. Let's start the computer and programming words. Apple versus not Apple. I'm a not Apple person. I won't buy Apple-related products. He was going good for a while, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, donkey, yeah.
Get the whip out. I think what it is,
Move, boy, move,
what it is just where it's just.
It is not that rail. He's stopping over there. He's stopping up here. He's stopping. The rail, Steve. The rail is dirty, but he's a very light vehicle. He's too light. He's too light. Yes, the rails there are dirty,
But he is too light.
but he's too light.
Well, he's getting front.
Because notice when we put the weight on, when we put that weight on him, he ran just fine.
Put that camera on top and he ran.
Yeah, just going on those circles, centripetal force takes it away. Well, hi, Jerry Satz. You've changed your name. Got tired of everybody mispronouncing it? Yeah, McCartney owns all the Buddy Holly stuff. And that's what happened. Paul McCartney bought a bunch of rights to music, but Paul made sure that Buddy Holly's family, his widow and everybody, got money for it. That's one of the reasons he bought stuff, is so that the money could go to the creators and not stay with these rich corporations that had nothing to do with it. And so Paul, of course, made money himself off of owning the rights to all this music. But when the Beatles music first came on the market in the 80s, it was like $20 million, and Paul called John Lennon and said, hey, he called Yoko Ono and said, hey, Yoko, 10 million from you, 10 million from me, we own the Beatles music again. And Yoko would not commit. She kept trying to make a deal. Well, you know, John wrote most of the songs, so I think it should be a 60-40 split. And Paul's like, it's 50-50. We were Lennon-McCartney. And in the argument, it basically went to a bidding war, and somebody else bought him. Michael Jackson stepped in and said, hey, Paul had told Michael to get into the publishing side of business, to start buying published music. And Michael Jackson told Paul, hey, that's a great idea. In fact, I think I'll buy yours. And Paul said, well, don't. I'm trying to buy them. And Michael turned around and offered $50 million and basically overbid Paul for the right to the music. And that led to a huge, well, Paul never forgave Michael Jackson for it, although Paul won't publicly ever really rip into Michael. If you ever watch interviews where Paul talks about it, he's like, well, Michael was a very talented guy, blah, 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 blah. But when he says that and follows it with a but, that's Paul's way of saying F you. Paul will never publicly trash somebody, but he has a way of... Is that where Steve just went? Jerry, that flashing light is an LED light right above me that I have needed to replace for a year and a half and just haven't done so because the brand is no longer made, and Joyce and I keep trying to find the exact same thing because it's either replace the one or replace all six. So it just blinks, and fortunately I don't have epilepsy, so, but yes, it does get annoying if you're watching. So it's just one of the 6 ceiling lights in here that has a little goof to it. It started doing it about 6 months after I installed it. All the other ones are fine, but that one blinks. Oh yeah, Buddy Holly, it's sad. He was, what, 26 when he died? Buddy Holly was one of the most... If Buddy Holly had lived, we would talk more about Buddy Holly than we do about Elvis. Because I know people love Elvis. I'm not an Elvis fan, and I respect the influence Elvis had. But Elvis was not creative. Buddy Holly was musically creative. Elvis just sang other people's music. And he did it with a style and a verve that everybody loved. But Buddy Holly was musically creative. He was a musical genius. He was the Miles Davis of early rock and roll. He was the Eddie Van Halen of early rock and roll. He just very creative musically, lyrically, and he influenced so many people. And considering he was like 26 when he died, maybe 27, or well, it was early 59, so he hadn't turned 27 yet. So he was like 26. Yeah, Buddy Holly was. I love Buddy Holly, the man. I love people who write and create their own stuff. And it's just a shame he died so young. Richie Valens was a great talent who also died too young that day. And the Big Bopper, well, Big Bopper was an old guy who had just had his big heyday of fame. But, I mean, it's tragic, all three of them, but it's really a shame. Richie was 18, 19, and Buddy Holly was 26. Those were tragic. Hello, another Andrew. Hello, Andrew T. Yeah, we are live today and apparently cutting into Tim's stream. I just didn't know that Tim Wells, because I love Tim Wells. I think he's awesome, and I didn't want to cut in. My stream last night got deleted by YouTube because I played Beatles in it. I played the actual Beatles. Now, if I played somebody else doing the Beatles or me singing Paperback Writer, they don't delete it. But if you use the actual Beatles sound and image, they cut you down viciously. And so but literally my friend Steve, who is upstairs right now, Steve and Matt came down, and while we were running trains, Steve really just kept asking me to go live. He really wanted to go live. He wanted people to see his train. He wanted his train on my live stream. So if you want to know his train, it's this guy. I'll flip the up the ramp camera. It's a steamer. It's a early 20th century steamer. And it's very cool looking. I will give him that. The coloring's cool. The name of it is Lady of Wurttemberg. You're going to see it coming around the corner here. It is a gorgeous train. I have to admit that. I'll stop it over here on the 11-lane view when it gets here, and you guys maybe, I don't know if you'd get a better look of it there or not. But there it is from up high, coming around the village here. You're mentioning Ozzy. Hey, Richard Brown, how are you? I'm going to slow him down here just so that as he comes around the curve, maybe you can get a good view at his mechanics. There you go. That is the Lady of Wurttemberg. It is a class BR 18.1 or class 18, also known as a Bavarian S36. It's a Pacific style. I only basically know what that means. I know it's the wheel alignment, a Pacific. All right, Digger. Yeah, I probably won't be on much longer, Digger, but if you know, you can check back in, because I figured most people would like the steam train, and now I'm going to speed it up and you could get a look at the cars. But I thought you guys, my friend Steve here, Steve Lebecki, really wanted people to see his train. Now he's got, he could probably give Sam's train a run for his money. Steve at his house just has trains piled up on tables. I believe you'd agree with that, Matt?
You can go to my YouTube website.
Yeah.
And see them.
Yeah, my friend Matt is also here. All right, we're going to speed that guy up and let him go, but there you kind of got a closer look at him. But my Steve Matt is right here. I posted his webpage. I'll post it again. Matt builds layouts for people, and he's very, 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 very excellent at it. And if you go to his page now, his page isn't just a train page, or is Matthew Moore. This is your YouTube channel.
Yes, my YouTube channel.
But you still have like your drones and stuff on it.
Yeah, there's drones.
Yeah,
and
he's
all
got
kinds.
drone shots. It's not just a train, but if you scroll back through his images, you'll find some of the layouts he's building, his own stuff he's working on because he's had to move house a couple of times, and so he builds a new layout. But if you go back, he's also got some video of my layout over the years, and then my friend Steve, who has disappeared somewhere. Oh, I wonder if he's having trouble getting that gate open, or did they leave it open?
He left it open. I closed it.
Oh.
I was going to ask if you had any cats or anyone down here.
No, I had seen. They probably haven't ventured that far
they're
yet.
all in the front room.
Yeah, probably hiding. But anyhow, but you can look where if he mentions Steve, if you find videos where he mentions Steve's layout or camera,
It's Steve Train Layout.
Steve Train Layout is the name of the videos. But yeah, Steve has a run that Matt helped. You built it or helped build?
I built it.
You built it, yeah.
Everything's from scratch.
Matt built that, and
And
it
then
takes 8 minutes for a train to do one loop.
Yeah.
It takes 8 minutes for the train to do one of the two loops, and there's no helixes, right?
Yeah, there's a helix.
There's one helix. There's one helix. But yeah, it takes 8 minutes to do one loop, but there's a second loop which takes another 7 minutes. It takes 15 minutes for a train to run the entire layout. That's wild. Now, as far as it looking British, I just think trains from that era tend to look more the same. I think it's more by the maybe just before World War II or maybe just after World War II, where countries really began putting their own stamp on trains and passenger wagons and that. Obviously, the Orient Express would look a little different than something else. The King Ludwig Special would look different. What was Steve doing? I mean, you went up there. What?
He's trying to log into your Wi-Fi system.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the fact that this was an unannounced on schedule and we've had as many as 19 people here, that's not bad.
And I see that. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's right. Is this your first time down since we changed our Wi-Fi?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Did you get an upgrade or something?
Yeah. Oh, that's probably why he's not getting in.
Did you get a new,
It's all new. The Wi-Fi is all new about a month ago, and I think it was after you guys last came down. He needs the passwords. That's why he's not getting in.
now are you using a Linksys or a Netgear?
No, it's all just done through them, so it's Eris.
Oh, okay. But sometimes if you get a Netgear or a Netgear, you have a better whip band, wire band.
Oh, I've seen a lot of the classic diesel locos, Andy, and they're gorgeous. I will be adding, and Steve's already nagging me which one to get. I will be adding a diesel freighter sometime next year. Right now, my money is strictly focused on my ICE4, which will be coming in the next few weeks. I'll be right back. You can take over if you want.
I don't know what to say.
Hey, Steve? What? Well, I'll leave the gate open for you.
There's no Smartman.
What?
It says baby food on here.
Joyce got him hooked up. Well, no, he was just in the living room trying to figure out the Wi-Fi, and then Joyce hooked him up, and then... How's the 3D printer going? Well, it's still sitting on a table untouched since I built it and last tried to level it about 3 weeks ago. I am so...
Okay.
I haven't touched it. I keep trying to level it, and there's a special way you have to level it, and I just don't have the magic touch. And then I keep forgetting to ask my son or son-in-law or daughter even.
Or I can check it out.
Yeah, you can check it out. You have to level it. The thing is, you have to level it on all 4 sides and the middle, so 5 places to level it. And it has to be exactly level with the nozzle, where you can take a sheet of paper and pull the paper while it's just slightly being held. Like, in other words, you're getting some resistance, but not enough where the paper would tear.
Yeah.
But it has to be level on all 4 sides. I can get 3 of 5. I can get 3 of 5 level, but not 5 of 5. You want to do it? Knock yourself out. So someday I will actually be 3D printing, because I've got all kinds of designs ready to go. I just need to get the plate leveled and get the plate leveled in the right place. My friend Matt's a techno guy, so if you mention any technical thing, he's like, I'll fix it. So he's going to go monkey with it right now. So it might be done today for all I know. Which just lets you know what a loser I am, that my friend Matt might fix it in 5 minutes and I've ignored it for 3 weeks. So that's how the 3D printer's going. But Matt likes to come down and do all sorts of camera stuff. He's got a Wi-Fi camera, which we actually tried to hook into the live stream here, but wasn't working. There's an app you have to get and a password, and he doesn't know the password offhand. But otherwise, we're going to have a cab view on. We were going to do a cab view that we could have done with OBS here, but unfortunately it didn't work. But it's convincing me I need to get a Wi-Fi camera. He's got one of those little Sony Sure Shot things. Are you contented, or do you want me to stay on? No, you guys came down here. I don't want to be online while you're here visiting. Yeah, I know, but you asked me to go online, so I did.
Right, but I want to try to get the password, because I forgot the name.
Right.
You can show them the camera.
Yeah. This is, now Steve owns one of the locomotives that has a cab camera in it. He didn't bring it down this trip. But Matt has one of these little Sony things, which he jury-rigged onto a flatbed car. And these are nice and narrow, and it is a fabulous camera. So when you watch any videos, including layouts of mine, where he does the cab view, because I have a Polaroid Cube, which is high definition as well, but this is Wi-Fi, so he can do this and watch it. We watch it on the TV while he's running it. But he forgot the password, so I can't put it on the TV, and I can't put it on OBS here. But so that's his little. He uses it strictly for filming on layout. So he'll go to train shows and ask people if he can add this onto a train, and then he'll film their layouts at train shows from cab view. So that's his little trick there. And I'm going to steal this idea. I just need to buy one of these. Hand that back to you. Okay, that guy stopped over there and stayed stopped. Would I be willing to do a how-to? Andrew, my how-tos are usually how not to. If I figure it out, then yes, I will do a how-to. But I know there are plenty of other people that have done them already. Like even Tristan, Double O'Neill did one. But it is what it is. Terry Elrand, yes. They are fiddly to put together. Now there are some companies, but they're much more expensive. These cheaper starter ones, and the one I've got is highly rated. It's the Creality Ender Pro 5, which is an upgrade from the Ender Pro 3, which was so popular a few years ago. They are very highly regarded, but setting them up and getting them ready to go is the issue. Once you've got them there, they're fantastic. There are people, I know Tristan did one. I'm trying to think of another guy I know who, once they got it going, they're making these really cool things. Like I know somebody online that I watch who is making his Warhammer figurines with them. He both makes a dry mold of the figure and got its dimensions, and then he designed it online, or he designed it with a CAD program, and now he's printing his own. I probably shouldn't be saying that. His Warhammer 40K compatible figurines. How's that sound? That sounds legal, doesn't it? His Warhammer 40K compatible figurines. Other people are doing them for wargaming. There's a video on Little Wars TV, which is a webpage I subscribe to, that does tabletop wargaming. Little Wars TV does a very cool bit like that. But a few months ago, a year ago, they bought a Creality 3 3D printer, and the guy did a video about his 3D printing and what they use it for. Now, he turned around and got a resin printer, which he prefers, but I don't want to deal with the poison issues, the toxicity issues of resin, and I'm going to be doing my printing in-house, and I don't want to have to vent it. Tim, after I went on, I mean, nobody was streaming when I went on, and then about 20 minutes after I started, 30 minutes after I started, I saw you went on. I'm really sorry. I certainly, if I'd known you were on, I would not have come on. I would have told my friend Steve no. Well, that's Matt there. Steve's off camera. But Steve, my friend, there, now he just stuck his face in. Steve begged me to go online so people could see his train. I really did not want to go online if you were online. I'm really sorry about that, Tim. In fact, if my friends weren't here, I wouldn't have been online, and I would have come to your stream if I'd known. I really feel bad about that. Yeah, I didn't know. I wouldn't have gone on if I'd known you were on. I checked. Nobody was going live. I didn't have any notices anybody was going live, so my friend Steve wanted his train live, so I said, what the heck, let's do a live stream. And my friends Matt and Steve, we're having a train play date, model train play date. They come down every now and then, and because Matt's just into trains. Now, Matt does N scale mostly, but he does HO scale too, mostly American stuff. And Steve, let me see if I do this camera. Where are you, Steve? Where are you? No, I'd have to turn this way. Nope. Oh, there he is, hiding behind stuff. Yeah, Steve back there. Steve does Miraklin as well. Steve, have you ever counted how many Miraklin trains you have?
I'd say over 50.
Is it just that? You've got more than 50.
Over 50, I'd say.
Over 50. You've got more like a couple of hundred.
No, not that much.
Because you got that one table that has like 50 of them.
Yeah,
Okay, he says somewhere between 50 and 100. It seems like a lot more than that.
mostly in steam locomotives.
Mostly steam. Matt is a huge Amtrak fan. He's got a lot of Amtrak trains, and they're really cool. Again, if you want to check out, Matt builds layouts for people. He doesn't do it as a profession, but he's very, very good, and he builds layouts. He builds what they want, okay? It's not what he envisions. It's like, what do you want? And then he goes and builds the basics, and then they add the scenics in that. But he builds layouts as well.
He's the one that built my layout.
And he built these layouts. So if you go to Matthew Moore, and I'll put that web page one more time. That's his web page. Go in, check out his video. Now, it's not just trains. It is trains. He goes to friends' houses and films. He goes to train shows and films. He often gets his train cam on their layouts at train shows and films different people's layouts at train shows. So it's really cool, but he also has drone videos and things like that. And so it's not just trains. But if you go to his webpage, check it out. you'll see some cool stuff. But I met these two gentlemen about 6 months after I got into the train hobby. I went up to a shop that sold American, German, European stuff, and they were there, and we just talked. Never expected necessarily to see each other again. A month later, I went back up to the shop. They were there again. Apparently, they lived there. And then I joined the local club that they all mentioned. I joined their club, and I was a member of that club for a year or so. And even though I left the club, we've stayed friends, and they come down and we run trains. So we're running Steve's guy right here. Let's get him coming here. This is an early 1900s German special called the Lady of Wurttemberg. Gorgeous little steamer. So you guys are seeing a first here. Well, not a first. I've done it before, but it's very rare, extremely rare. I am running a steam locomotive and a freight train. I'm running a steam locomotive and a freight train at the same time. Two things you have never heard me say up until 6 months ago. Hey, Paul and Leslie, how are you guys? Yeah, and I don't stream on Saturdays. In fact, I should be out in the garage building a crib, or I should turn off this and be hanging with these two guys. But again, these two guys kind of wanted me to go live for a bit, but...
It's all good. It's all good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're here to hang with... We're here to hang together, but I'm online, not talking to you, talking to them.
I know. It's fun.
So, I really should be shutting down here in a couple... Well, shutting the OBS down, just so I should be a proper host. But, again, I will blame Steve, because as Chris, if he's still here, knows, I like to blame other people for situations.
I blame Steve too.
Matt blames Steve too. So that's 2 out of 3. Steve, do you blame Steve? Steve does not blame Steve.
I'm enjoying the conversation.
He's enjoying it, but he doesn't blame himself. But we do, I have to admit, Steve did suggest I could go live. He actually wanted me to film his train and do a show about it, which I have done. I haven't done the show yet, but I filmed it. But he wanted it to, he also would like it on live stream. So we said, well, would you like to go live? He says, yeah, go live. So we went live. I did check, because Tris at Double O'Neill had been on, and Lee, Anfield Road, had been on. And so I looked, and everybody was off. Nobody was on. It was about 3 o'clock, and I said, what the heck, let's go on. Because I always check. I never go on if I know somebody that I know is on. There's always somebody on, but I don't like to cross people I know and respect. Although that sounds bad, because if you're on and I didn't know you're on, then it sounds like I don't respect you. That's not the case. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, you used the 6021? Yeah, American Z scale is phenomenal stuff. The 6021 is great, but in my opinion, it's sort of like how many trains do you have? And what all do you want your layout to do? The 6021 is great for me up to... If you only have 4 trains, or you only want to run 3 or 4 trains at a time, the 6021 is fine, although I've never owned a 6021.
I have.
You have. So Steve...
You only could, with the 6021, you are only capable of actually running 1 train at a time, but you can run everything on, remote, everything, I would say automatically if you want to. All
Right.
you gotta do is put it
You
in
can
the-
control 1 train at a time.
1 train at a time.
Later versions of the 6021 and the Delta had where you could have 4 trains, but you still could only control 1 at a time. The Delta.
Right,
Yeah, the Delta.
Delta's 1 at a time.
So
6021 is the one.
the mobile station, which is roughly $100 American dollars, than the power pack. I don't know why they do it. Well, I do know why they do it, because it's going to be sold in different countries. But the mobile station, which is, let's go to Acer Cam. This is the mobile station. It's a little handheld digital thing. It's about $100. And you can control not just your trains, but you can control your turnouts if you have them digital. This is the basic, well, not the basic, this is the basic digital American controller. And if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trains and you're only running 1 or 2 or 3 at a time, this is all you need, okay? And you don't need Wi-Fi with this. You don't need anything. The only negative side of this, well, I'll say 2 things. One slight negative is you can control 1 train at a time, but you can actually control up to, I think you can have 50 trains in the database here. Hi, Dave P. Hey, you haven't been knighted. I now declare you knight of the Octagon table. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Even though it's Miraklin, like a Z21, it will control any digital train. It can control, you can use this on a 00 system. It will read. You either have a DCC decoder or some form of Miraklin decoder. There's 4 decoder, basic decoder languages, and only 2 of them are in the model train world right now, DCC and DC. There's Skeletrix, which you can also use, and some trains do use Skeletrix. But these guys run MM or DCC or any of the variations of Miraklin. So you could use this for anybody, for any scale, any system. The drawback is you control 1 train at a time, but you just hit Shift, and then you can steer through the trains you're controlling. Okay? That's it, you should. But this also controls all your digital turnouts. You just program their address, and it's real easy to program their address, onto the, I'd have to shift it here. I've got a video. If you go to my Miraklin Outsider videos, I explain how to do this. I think I changed which train I had this on. Which train was I controlling with him? Oh, this is the metronome. Got to get him back to the metronome. There he is, metronome. Okay. So they're great with anything. They're great with any system if you want to go that route. But, you know, they're maybe a little easier to use than a Gauge Master because they do make digital programming a little easier than how I see people do it with their Gauge Masters and Digitrax and, well, Digitrax is a computer program, never mind that. All those different other handheld controllers. Hey, bye, Ewan. And yeah, like when I had 4 or 5 trains and was running 3 at a time, this is all I needed. But eventually you go up to the Central Station 3, and then what I do with these is basically I control a different train with each device, so I have an immediate handheld control. So I've got 2 on the Central Station 3. This guy is specifically being used. Now I could use my Central Station 3. I could even use my computer. Because I actually have a laptop right here where I'm controlling other trains.
I can run his Wi-Fi off my iPad.
Yeah. And then, don't mind the red, I have everything except it just rebooted because it went into sleep mode. Stupid thing.
Remind of its own.
Oh, it goes into sleep and then it resets to the standard. I don't know why it reboots. You have to, it goes to sleep every half hour. The tablet, it's nothing to do with the programming, it's the stupid tablet. But, where's old Cheska Drahi? Okay. So then I have, did you just turn around again? You peel. But you have a tablet, I can control the whole system from a tablet. So it's the Z21 and the Miraklin Central Station are the same thing. The difference between a Z21, I'm sorry for the UK people, Z21, and if you're German, Z21, the difference between a Miraklin Central Station and a Z21 is a Miraklin has a built-in computer and digital display system, you know, like you see that, where your Z21 puts everything on the tablet to begin with. I can use a tablet with my Miraklin if I want, but Miraklin also lets me direct control. And that's the other difference. The Z21 requires a Wi-Fi. You got to have, and basically you just get a router, and the router has a signal from the Z21 that sends it to your tablet, so it's not a big deal. But you do have to have that additional thing, but it comes with the, if you buy the deluxe Z21, it comes with the router anyhow. Every time you turn this any more off than 180,
It's gonna fit.
so yeah, I've got all the trains I'm running. Nope, don't turn it too sideways. I've got everything on the tablet, so just like if you watch John at Piccadilly Circus with his Z21 and he's got his tablet and he runs it. And there's just different settings on this, so I can control 8 trains or 4 or 2. Since I'm running 6 trains, I set it up on the 8. And I control all the functions. Let me get that in there. You can see all the functions are on. You might see the functions changing because Steve is on his tablet messing with the trains as we speak. So it's a nice system to work. Somebody's camera just, or, Now, dropping the tablet's not a good idea either. And then bumping the stop. Oops! Somebody's a klutz. Yeah, actually one mobile station's probably enough. I don't know. Let me see if I can do it with this camera real quick. Let me go to the 11-lane view. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't know how much slack I have in this bad boy.
Uh-oh, the roll's upside down.
But here is my command station. So there's my tablet to the left, my central station 3, one computer which I'm using for the live broadcast, and then the other computer which I'm watching comments from the live broadcast on. But I also, I basically have another central station 3 on this because there's an app you can get so I can control everything from my laptop instead of the central station 3. This is as far as this camera reaches. I don't know how well you're hearing me with the microphone so far away. So that is the camera I'm live streaming with, or the computer. And then I have 2 mobile stations, my central station, my tablet, and then on here I can also control the entire system with my computer. Now I can't do this unless I have the central station, but it allows me to have on all sides of my train layout, I have control and can run my system. And this does everything the central station 3 does. I control it separately. It's like having a second central station 3. I can run everything through this. So if I wanted to, Matt, I'm going to be stupid. Could I have you actually just hold this here?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, try to get it on there. It's an odd thing, but now I can set the mic down. But for example, I can run all my trains. I can run all my trains from my central station 3, and then up here, I can control all my turnouts. You can see some of my motorized turnouts. Here, let me turn this a bit so they can see better. These are all my turnouts to open and close. Now, I've got about 20 turnouts on this table, of which 6 are digital and only 4 have been loaded into my central station yet. So I have all this. I can control the layout, plus then I could also I can control the, I could have a layout map here. I gotta close this down. I also could have a layout map on here and control my layout that way. I could have, instead of buying Digitracks where you design your layout, I can put it all on here by drawing it. I deleted their start pack on one here. But, so yeah, I could do everything on the laptop computer. I could do it on my central station, just bounce back and forth. Thank you. So now let me put this back and let people see trains. You.
You did that one video out there on YouTube about your control center.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on there.
Okay.
So if people want to know more about it,
Yeah, Matt also has a video about my control center on his page. Okay, so Chris is leaving. Okay, bye, Chris. So yeah, and yeah, I see Timber came in. Bye, Lee. Wow, we got up to 27 here. Did I get up to 30? Because yeah, a couple of people are leaving. Wow, that was fast. Yeah, cool. But I really am going to get off here in a couple of minutes because it's just rude. So yeah, the funny thing. Whoops. Uh-oh. There we go. Had a freeze up there for a second. I have all this digital stuff. I'm just not running that much with it. I have all the bells and whistles, but I'm still ringing a doorbell. I just run a bunch of trains. It just allows me to control something differently with each thing. So I have 2 mobile stations plugged into my central station. I got a tablet. The tablet allows me, if something happens and I have to walk away from the table, I can step away from the table and run things. The only thing I haven't run yet, and I got to run it because Steve was nagging me to, so before I leave again, let me plug it in and let you see it a little bit. Let's do the...
Make it sufficient on Central Station 3. Can also run actually 10 locomotives.
yeah.
Here is the Central Station 3.
Well, yeah.
That's a
Now,
lot of
this,
trains.
my friend Steve is reminding me that, now again, with a mobile station, you can control up to 50 trains. You just only have one on your display screen at a time, and you have to scroll through them to reach them. On the Central Station 3, on the display screen, you can have 10 trains on the display, all controlled right there, where you see visual control of each train. So you could, and it's all touch screen, or you can connect the mouse, or you can use, what do they call those? The touch pens. Oh my goodness, my brain is fried. Stylus, that's it. You can use a stylus. Yeah, well, Steve Childers, they deleted my video yesterday, and again, for the 10th time, I did not plan on going live today. A couple of friends came down and running trains. We're having our, every couple of months we get together and run trains here. And my friend Steve, this is Matt. Matt, you can wave. That's Matt. Steve is next to him. Steve is waving. And Steve suggested that he brought a train down, which we've been showing off here. It's right here. I'll put it on the up the ramp view real quick. So you'll see it coming around in a couple of minutes. But Steve brought this classic German steam train down to run, and he wanted it on YouTube. So we decided to go live. Nobody was live at the time. We decided to go live. Found out later that Tim went on a little bit after we did. Tim Wells from Family. I feel bad. I don't like to. I mean, he's got many more subscribers than me, and people are going to watch him over me. So if anybody wanted to see Tim, I'm not going to steal anybody from Tim. But yeah, so that was the dude. Whoops, station, quick station. I could catch him in the station. There he is going through the station. That Batman angle on the station. Then we'll catch him on the village view. And while the village view is on, I gotta do this. Bing. All right, Steve, are you ready?
Let's see this first one.
Now, I forgot to charge him, but
It's what? It is? Why?
there's always a 15 to 30-second delay between what you're seeing, what I'm doing live, and what they're saying.
Or delay?
Yeah, there's always a lag. See, there he goes in. He goes into the bus. Okay, see, the only thing is the stop motors have been acting up and they're not always working properly. So he did pull in, he just didn't stop and stay there. So you guys can see the Fowler bus car system running right now. This was a jerry-rigged system I created.
Put the lights on it. In the bus station.
Oh, I don't know if I have enough plugs for everything. And if I turn the lights off, then you won't see the car. But I mean, I could turn on. Let me see which one. Station. Oh. Hang on. No, I wasn't seeing lights come on. The batteries might have worn. There we go. Yeah. So there's the station lights. So I don't know, are they coming on?
Yeah, they're on.
No, I mean on the train station. The batteries here might have gone.
No, I don't think.
I can't see them, but it's so hard to tell. I really have to have it dark. But yeah, and I gotta remember the lights are on.
Well, it's probably about a 10-second delay, 8-second delay.
You're seeing an 8-second delay.
Yeah,
I've seen it as much as 30.
See what-
Sorry guys, I'm talking behind you.
See, there's where
Yeah. Okay, did he pull in again? Dude, why am I getting resistance here all of a sudden? That's not, normally I can set this up here.
The delay is about from here to the back.
Okay.
That's how far my delay is.
Okay, so now does he pull? Yeah, see, he pulls in, but he's not stopping. Right now, the stop motors, for whatever reason, aren't working. I might just have to go in and jiggle them. But for now, yeah, the bus is going in and he's pulling in. He's just not stopping, and that's on the stop motors. There's something up with the stop motors. But they're touchy. Hey, bye, Somerset Andy. But yeah, so yeah, if you can see the bus, the goal is, for those of you who don't know, that is an exact replica of the bus station and train station from a small town in Germany called Delmenhorst. That is a 100% scale accurate recreation. The only thing that's not true to scale are the platforms. The platforms need to be about 1.5 foot, 2 feet longer. They need to be about 1.5 foot, 2 feet longer. But the goal is to have traffic going around the outer loop, but the buses have a special system set up that they will turn into the bus station. They will turn into the bus station and stop at the bus stops. Unfortunately, I've been having problems with that, and every time I fix one problem, something else develops. And I bought these fancy, expensive modules from Fowler, and that's when everything went haywire. And now it's not even pulling into the stop. So sometimes it pulls into the stop, sometimes it doesn't. But that's how it works. That's the system. Oops. Let's watch it come into the station this time. So yeah, this is the Lady of Wurttemberg. It's a train that ran from the early 1900s until 1954. It ran in southwestern Bavaria or south central Germany, basically same area. Its last assignment was running passenger traffic in and out of the city of Ulm. Ulm is probably most famous to any of you. Well, it's famous for two reasons. Famous number one, it's where Albert Einstein was born. Albert Einstein was born in Ulm. And then secondly, the church in Ulm has the tallest church tower in the world. Tallest single standing tower. Yeah, Z-Scale Ray, I've been very frustrated with it because once I started trying to use the decoder, we just had problems. And it just seems to be these read sensors. And finally a Fowler representative looked at my system and said, oh, well, here's part of the problem. You put the turnouts on corners or on curves. You can't put them on curves. It even tells you in the instructions, don't put them on curves. Okay, that's what the problem is. But, you know, like Richard Brown was in here for a bit, and Richard ran the, Richard has an E-COS by the company ESU, and ESU designed the first central station, the first generation central station. Merklin's on generation 3. But ESU and Merklin had basically an argument, a divorce, and Merklin said, well, from now on we'll do our own in-house. And so ESU turned around and took all the things they wanted to do with Central Station and created the E-COS, the Electronic Command Station. And so, and the E-Cost was so much better than the original generation of Central Station. And then Roco decided that the Central Station and the E-Cost were too expensive, and they came up with a way to do a cheaper version, which is don't put in the built-in display screen. So there's pros and cons with a Roco Z21. And the cons are minor. I mean, I'm only talking about compared to a Central Station or E-Cost. I prefer a Central Station or an E-Cost over the Roco, but the Roco is an awesome thing. You get that? It's like comparing Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe, and Jane Mansfield. You don't lose. You don't lose. But Richard had the E-Cost, and I started with an E-Cost. I had an E-Cost, and I liked it, but it did have some, it seemed to handle Miraklin okay, but it didn't seem to like Pico and Roco stuff made for Miraklin. So I don't know what that was. So I finally got tired of a couple of the problems I was having with my E-Cost, and it might have just been, I did buy it used, and this might have been problematic to that one machine. But since I bought my Central Station 3, I'm just in love with it. I think it's awesome, but it does cost more money. Now, I got mine on sale. I spent probably 560 American dollars on my Central Station 3. And trust me, I saved up for it. I didn't just have $500 to drop. See, in that video, you could actually see the bus pulls in, but he doesn't stop because the stop motors and the sensors are not working together in a friendly manner. But that's my follow car system. Steve's wanted to see it in action, so there it is. So let's go to the big view and see everything. Yeah, there is a mild debate, but Miraklin really seems to be, Miraklin introduced digital trains in 1979 at the 1979 Nuremberg Toy Fair. Miraklin was the first company to try to integrate digital technology with model trains, but that was also when Miraklin started going downhill. The family that owned it was going broke. It was still family owned at that time, the Miraklin family. They wound up selling it. They actually didn't sell it. Well, it got sold twice. They sold it in the 90s, and then the company that bought it also had financial trouble. And people will often say that the quality of Miraklin trains in the 80s and 90s went downhill. But Miraklin got bought out by this new company, Simba, blah, 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 some big, gigantic mega corporation. But they picked like the son of one of the owners of Simba, this young German dude, Florian Schaefer. Florian Schaefer, I think, is 32, 33 years old. Maybe he's a little older. Maybe he's 35, 36. But since he was put in charge of Miraklin, Miraklin has had, since Miraklin has turned a profit every year since 2012. They were in debt for like 20 years. And since Florian Schaefer got put in charge, Miraklin is like 5 or 6 straight years of profit. And yet most people will agree the quality of Miraklin has come way up since the early 2000s, late 90s. Miraklin was always considered quality, but people felt it really dropped off big time in the 90s when the company finally got sold by the family and just was cutting corners everywhere. They moved a lot of construction to China. Now they're out of China. They build their stuff in Hungary and Germany. I've yet to have a Miraklin locomotive that had a quality issue. I've had one thing I bought from Miraklin that has quality issues, and that is my metronome. That's the big blue and yellow guy that just went off. Well, he's in the bottom left-hand corner there right now. Right there. He's got some couplers because he's all lit up and it runs through the couplers. He has current conducting couplers. And like 3 of the couplers between some of the cars are just poorly made, or, you know, just whatever. And so when it goes around curves, some of the cars blink, which drives my friend Steve crazy.
Yep.
So the thing is, I got into model trains in 2015, near the end of 2015. I'm about to celebrate 5 years in the hobby because I know the exact date. In fact, what's today, the 24th? So in 2 days will be exactly 5 years since I ordered my first train. It'll be 5 years to the day, Monday, the 26th. It was October 26th, 2015, that I bought my first train off of eBay. I bought an ICE-3, a Miraklin ICE-3. I got it a couple of weeks later, and then my wife said I had to wait till Christmas. And then my kids all ordered track for me, a tracking mobile station, a controller for Christmas. And sadly, it didn't come from the different shops they ordered. It didn't arrive until the day after Christmas. So I didn't play with my train for the first time until December 26th.
Don't forget to tell, I started in 68, so
Yeah.
it's 50 years now.
Yeah, so Steve started in 58, or in 68, so it's 52 years since he's been into trains. But, so that was me getting into trains, and trains were digital. The last train I played with was 1971. It was a little Tyco Santa Fe Super Chief thing. A couple of box cars, a caboose, an F7, F8 locomotive, whatever they are, F95, FU, I don't know what they are. And so that's what I did, and I just was bored with it. All of a sudden they were digital. My train made sounds and lights and station announcements and everything else, and that was part of what got me addicted to it, was all the digital stuff. That's what made it fun, all the sounds they made. So, anyhow, I have been on for a while, an hour and a half at least.
Hold on, didn't you?
Yeah. I've been on an hour and a half at least. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm not going to shut the trains down as I traditionally do because we're going to keep running trains and talking. But even though they did ask me to go live, I do think it's rude that I'm sitting here talking to everybody else and not paying attention to my guests. So I'm going to thank everybody for showing up. We got as high as 30 at one point. That was awesome. Wow. I love it when I break 20. So 30 was amazing. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
What do you say about there?
I'll be to Zane and happy trains. See you later.
Yes, happy
Goodbye.